All right, my students, I just wanted to show you really quick. In last night's, extra class that we did, we talked about how do we add placement. We had those, we created kind of some big, interesting procedurals, but it wasn't working. We plugged it in here and we did exactly this, which is we have turbulent noise, basically generating a pattern, and we had a large tree of turbulent noise. And then, I'm sorry, I'm on a laptop, so this is slow and awkward, but we plugged it into this displacement, and then on the shader itself, we went into the principal shader and we enabled custom input. And it didn't appear to do anything. And I'm guessing it's because our scale was so large on that mountain. That mountain was like 100 meters tall, right? So I'm gonna do that. Put my scene view, because now I'm inside that thing, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit F. That didn't work, so I'm going to, oh, there we go. So there's F. And now I'm gonna go back to my render view. This should update. Refresh. And there we go. And so we see here, this surface, when we look at this, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Well, I guess it kind of does. Like, some stuff happening there. It's making it kind of do some things. I'm wondering if in our test last night, there was something we were missing, and it could still be a scale issue, that the scale seems bigger than this. So then this just becomes, on the turbulent noise, I can reduce this frequency, right? If it feels too, like that's too high frequency, I definitely want something that's lower frequency. It's probably still too high, so let's 0.01. We were probably more in like this space. It's like, okay, I can't really tell what's happening. I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna increase this to 10. And then let's see if when I increase this, does it give me more displacement? So there you go. This was what we were trying to do. We were cranking up this number and we weren't seeing any difference, okay? We're kind of recreated now. So I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna restart and see if that's the case. Because sometimes with displacement, you have to regenerate, right? There's definitely not just a, it creates that displacement. And when you're in the IPR, it's only updating certain things. So if you're ever seeing like stuff not changing, it's always good to stop your render, start it again. That way it goes through and it regenerates your IFD. Right. Okay, cool. This is kind of what we're seeing. And we're gonna go back to 1 on this. Okay, because we weren't getting the results that we were expecting out of this. So this is really doing the same thing. So now what I'm gonna do is tab range. I'm actually gonna plug this in here and let's stop this. I'm gonna take this to 10. Let's do a snapshot. I'm gonna hit render again. And the cool thing about this, having this work, it allows us to like put in like really awesome, procedurals and build things, and we can build them based off of point, attributes and things like that. That way we can drive our shader in an interesting way. So very cool stuff. Oh, that's already looking promising. And there you go. So for whatever reason, it was not behaving because that value on the max displacement doesn't seem to help. Now we're getting some braking here. Okay. And part of that's because I think we need to link these two things, because what this max displacement is that's the bound, right? So I'm going to copy this. How do I copy this? Let's see. Oh, that maybe, there we go. Again, I'm with a mouse, so I don't have a, and now I'm going to, that's why. Okay, this makes total sense now. So what this is it sets the bound for which you can do the displacement. So if the displacement is going outside of the displacement bound, you'll see it tear the geometry. Right? So you really have to make these two things move together. Right? And you'll see that it changed this displacement bound. So this actually becomes dependent on how much we're trying to push this. Now we can come here and let's really push this. All right, we're gonna say 50. And there we go. So now with this, for any of you who are doing some of those like procedural noise patterns, like we could take this same pattern so we can kind of get an idea of what it's doing. Right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say color mix. And I'm probably gonna give myself a fit node there too. So fit range. Again, I apologize, I'm on a laptop, so this is a little difficult. I have to use the overview node. Plug this into my bias. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and take this down to something like 0.25 or something like that, and bring this up to like 0.05, and that'll give me some contrast in that. And now I'll take these colors and I'm gonna make my primary color like this gray, and maybe just push a little bit of saturation into it, just a touch, something like that. That feels kind of rock-like. And then for my oops, oh my goodness, laptops. For this one, I'm gonna come into this red. I'm gonna push it in a little bit more orange, take a touch of saturation off, but knock down the darkness, the value. All right, cool. So there we go. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and plug this in to my base color. Which is super cool, as in, well, might not be super cool. It's not as cool as it's not as cool as I wanted it to be. Usually what you can do is you can make these things feel very connected to each other. Right? So at least what we were doing before, this would actually work pretty nice. Let's come down like this. It's starting to look actually kind of interesting, right? You're getting some veins of color where it's bulging out, right? We're getting, another color. It would be awesome to be able to isolate some of these like really high frequency bits. I'm sure we could. It would just take a little bit of dev to get there. But here you see, you now have color that's being driven by our displacement as well, and it's all outside of this shader. We don't have a single texture map in here. Right? We could come here and this is so hard. Throw down another turbulent noise, right? And this one was pretty high frequency. And so I'm gonna put down a fit. Maybe not quite this high of frequency. Our other one was 0.01, so let's make this one 0.1. This, we're gonna just take this down to like 0.5. Now what I want is I want another color mix. Whoa. All right, this all becomes about levels of noise I'm going to take this color here, and I'm going to copy its value, copy parameter. And I'll take this one here, and I'm going to paste it here, paste values. And then into this one, I'll actually paste it again, but I'm going to darken it way up. Oops. Let's take that value way down. And now I'm going to plug this shift into my bias. I'll take my color and plug that into, I think this was the secondary. Yeah, sweet. And now I've broken up that color even more, and so now I have control of this. And, push that roughness. Let's go ahead and take this up to 15. Get a bunch of loops of noise. We're starting to get, these values that are allowing us create variation, and it's just layering noise upon noise upon noise, right? So this is probably too much. You guys get the idea. Anyway, I can get lost forever making procedurals. I love making procedural textures. Going here, and then I would add, more values in there, like that, another level of breakup, and you just kind of keep mixing with noise patterns. So come in and break up this color, so it's got some variation.